Hey there, and welcome to Mompreneurs Making Moves. If you've ever tried to answer emails with a toddler pulling at your sleeve, or you've wondered how to grow your business while chasing after your dreams and probably your kids, you're in the right place. Every week, we'll get real about wins, messes, and all those magical moments in between, sharing practical tips, honest stories, and the laughs that keep us going. So let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of Mompreneurs Making Moves. I'm your host, Amariah Murdock. And again, for those of you who don't know, we're in the St. George area. We are local. We're featuring local entrepreneurs as well as others. But I always try to highlight our local people so you can connect, reach out, and collaborate. We have a lot of amazing mompreneurs in this area. I myself am the owner and founder of Infinite Exec. So if you're looking for streamlined assistance at a higher level, then we need to talk, because business owners know entrepreneurship doesn't have to suck. All right. You can do business and you can do life, and we're here to help you. And I know a lot of people as well who can help you too. So again, reach out, let us know, connect if you're here. Today we have the wonderful and lovely Sarah Montana. She is an AI business consultant and strategist, and she helps wellness professionals, coaches, and entrepreneurs scale their businesses by building custom AI tools and systems that save time, reduce burnout, and amplify their unique voice. So definitely a lot to talk about. We're so excited to have you here, Sarah. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Super excited to be here. I love listening to what you're doing. That's fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. And you know what you actually have to offer? I already know a few people, now that I think of it off the top of my head, that I've recently connected with who were talking about trying to get AI in their business. So I definitely need to connect you. So we'll do that after this. But yeah, how did you, first of all, tell us a little bit about you, and then tell us, how did you end up in the AI space?
Yeah, so I have a background in real estate. I actually have three children. So right now they are 21, 18, and 15. And I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've owned my own business since I was 18. I always say I'm unhirable, but essentially have a background in real estate. I owned 70 rental properties. I ran a real estate brokerage. I've ran teams. I have coached agents. I have a large Facebook group that I coach real estate agents. And I went through a divorce about 5 years ago, and I sold one of my apartment complexes. So I was kind of in this transitioning period, and I was ready to kind of separate from that identity a little bit and move on to something new and exciting. And so I sold one of the apartment complexes, and I was ready to make this transition, and I saw a TikTok video, honestly, about ChatGPT, and I was on a vacation actually, and I just kind of got sucked in, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the next internet. And I knew that I wanted to be a part of it, and I knew that it was going to revolutionize my life, but then also the life of everyone else, and just the trajectory of the way people's careers are going to be impacted. And so I dove all in, and there wasn't really a roadmap. This isn't something of oh, you go and you get a degree and you do these things. And the interesting thing about AI is that when you use it, you feel like an expert because it's so fantastic, and it can give you, so much leverage that kind of everyone and their mom is an AI expert. And so, kind of creating that vision in my own business of how I could implement that. And then I started to see the applications in other businesses and just absolutely love it and fell in love. I'm probably 5,000 hours plus into ChatGPT. I use it 10 plus hours a day, 7 days a week. And the ROI that I've seen in my own business, as well as the impact that it's made on other people's, day-to-day lives, but in their business as well, has just been amazing. And I'm super passionate about it, and I just love it. It's exciting every single day. It feeds my ADD really well.
Okay, yeah. No, also, first of all, I already am getting excited, but let me circle back. You work with wellness in particular, at least in this business that we're featuring today with Wellness Works. How did you get in the space with wellness? How can you help wellness folks?
So, as I started doing AI consulting, I was helping everyone. And, part of my coaching, even like in real estate and things, was always like, you need a niche, you need to niche down, you need to like, have a focus. And I realized that I needed to eat my own dog food. And so it's like I was helping, like home service companies, and I was helping real estate, and I was helping all these things. And I got, actually, we have a mutual friend, Dr. Kathleen King,
Yes.
with Primal Trust, was one of my first clients. And I was just fascinated. She taught about nervous system regulation, and I then also got a local wellness center here. And my new husband actually is a biohacker, and so you can see here I have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber sitting right next to me. I've got red light therapy and cold plunges and all the things. And I really like biohacking, essentially from an entrepreneur standpoint of how to get that competitive edge above other people. And honestly, I'm not the healthiest person. Like, part of my life is that I am a workaholic and I will burn myself into the ground for my clients. And I give and give and give. I did that as a mom. I did that as a wife. I did that as a business owner, is I will always put myself last. And honestly, like, I don't drink enough water and I don't exercise and I do all the things that I know I should be doing and I don't. And it was truly like, this is interesting, and like I need to eat my own dog food, and like how can I make my health a priority and like allow my business to thrive around that. So that's part of, I definitely have not arrived there yet. I still struggle with all of those things, but I host in-person retreats and things like that, and I like having wellness be a part of that, of like, let's figure out how to calm the mind, let's figure out how to reduce inflammation in the body. I have had chronic neck pain and dealt with health struggles, and so I just decided that wellness was going to be kind of where I focused. And I love working with thought leaders, entrepreneurs, any type of like a leader that has a unique modality or a unique message to share, that they want to create leverage to amplify that message without burning them out.
Got it. Awesome. And let's go back to something you said earlier, because I'm feeling that right now with a 6 month old and being a new wife. And I just kind of dove in. The giving piece. You give and you give and you give. And there's no like get out of jail free card. There's no like, hey, okay, you've done enough. Really, take a break. Like, okay, no, really though. You really like you can't keep going, but you're still on autopilot. You're still going. You really do just need to rest. Like, there's no break, right?
1,000%. I just went to Portugal for 10 days. And it was one of the first times that I've taken an actual break where like I close my computer. I love to travel. And so like for me, it's not necessarily like I like an integrated work-life balance. Like
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I love to work so that it does feed me. And so a lot of times I'll go on vacation and I work 3 or 4 hours a day, but I'm
Yeah.
doing it while looking at the beach. And then I get to go out and have like yummy gelato later. And so to me, that is a win. But this was the first time like I actually closed my computer and I wasn't working, and I got sick. And I was sick the entire time. And it's because my body was like, oh, okay. Well, so we've just been like running and running and running and running. Like, I will now make you rest. And so I think that I know, as a young mom and all of those things, that was always like the only way I got rest, is my body would just be like, all right, fine. Well, you're going to kick your ass right now and you're going to sit in bed for 5 days. And so, yeah, the goal is to not get to that point.
No, and it's comforting because, like, with being an entrepreneur, a mompreneur especially, like, we're built different. Like you said, you've been a serial entrepreneur since you've been 18. That tells me from the get you've been different. Your mindset, the way you think, your resourcefulness, the way you can turn things around, the way you see people and your relationships, the way that your mind can put all that together to have it translate into, yes, helping people, but also making money so you can eat and take care of the people that you love. So that, says a lot. We're built different as mompreneurs. What would you say to the traditional perspective of women stay home, cook, clean, and take care of the kids? And that's it.
Um,
You're out of your lane if you're thinking about starting a business.
Yeah, so I come from a culture where that is very prominent. And I applaud the women that is what, that's what they want to do. That's what they love. It feeds them. And like that is the only thing they've ever had a desire to do. And I think that is an absolutely fantastic and wonderful path. It has never been my path. I always wanted something more. And I lived probably 18 years of my life with shame around that, that it wasn't okay to want more and that I should feel fully fulfilled by making dinner every night and running my kids to piano recitals. And I felt a lot of shame around motherhood and things like that. And one of the like, I would never wish divorce on anyone ever, ever, ever. But one of the tender mercies and the like things that I'm so grateful for is in that traumatic experience, I have learned to become more authentic and to own my identity and own the light that I have to share. And I no longer am going to like hide that or be ashamed of that. Like I have an amazing brain and I'm super smart and all of those things. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I like that I can create and be an example for my children, whether they want to follow my path or not, but like show them that it's okay either way. And like I have created a beautiful life for myself and for my kids and all those things. And I'm now proud of that. It's no longer this thing, well, I could be a staying at home mom, but like I don't love my kids, so I'm gonna go to work. You know what I mean? Like that's not what it is. It's a yes and. I
Yeah.
love being a mother and I am passionate about who they are as individuals and empowering them to become better. And I love cooking and I actually love decorating and being at home and I love having a tidy house and I love all of those things. And like I have been able to find a way to create leverage in my business and do my highest and best use of times. Like I have a house assistant that literally comes and does my laundry for me and she cuts up vegetables for me and she puts the groceries away that I have on auto ship that come to my door from Amazon or come to my door from Walmart delivery. And like I don't spend time doing those things. And some people might judge me, or I judge myself of like, oh my gosh, I'm not a good enough wife and mom because I'm not folding my kids' laundry. But it's like, I have an entire playbook for my assistant of how to fold the laundry the way I want it done. And I have created systems around that life so that when I do show up for my kids and I do show up for my life and my role in that way, I can actually focus on connection and being with them and not being exhausted because I was scrubbing toilets earlier.
Yeah, no, I love that. This is just really empowering because I think too what people forget is we really are all different. Like there is no cookie cutter version, especially today. And it doesn't mean that if we own a business, we're all of a sudden in this category that we don't care about our families and we're just
Exactly.
career hungry, right? In
Hmm.
fact, most of the time we are very passionate about what we do because it's a gift that we have and because we're able to feed our family. It's all part of that. There are experiences that your kids have probably experienced that there are plenty that will never get there because, you know, their parents are not in the same position. And so I think that it's really important to remember that too. It does not make us any less of a mom or a wife or a human if we are leveraging what we have and using it in a different way. And actually, we're probably doing more because we're using our resources to give more to help other people. And that in turn, that giving kind of comes back in all the ways. It's a really beautiful cycle. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that.
If I can
Um,
interject before you ask my next question,
yeah.
I normally don't say this part just because I don't feel like it's relevant. But actually, when I was going through that transition period, I was actually going through a custody situation. I won't say it a custody battle, but my 15-year-old who lived with me, or I guess he was 12 or 13 at the time, we were essentially discussing whether or not he was going to go and live with his dad. And that is it's 15 hours away. And so it's a plane hour away. And I was struggling so hard with that. Like, he has an amazing dad, and I knew he would be taken care of, and I knew that he would be in good hands, and all those things. But I felt like a failure as a mom, that he didn't want to be here and all those things. And as I was looking to make that transition in my career, I was
Right.
a real estate agent and I had to be here to show houses and to do those things. And so I started off with this like life by design intentional plan. And I knew that AI was going to be a way that I could do that, that I can work from anywhere in the world. And so if I want to go and hop on a plane and get an Airbnb and stay with him because he has a, a a track meet or something that he's doing, I can do that and my income doesn't have to suffer because I've created my business around that. Was my priority of like, I can be a mom and show up in a different way. It doesn't have to be the day to day, every day, like doing homework. Like, I
Yeah.
can still have a beautiful relationship with my children, even if it doesn't mean that they're with me every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is also, I think, what keeps coming up, the theme so far and what we've talked about is our identity as a mom and our worth as a mom and whether or not we're successful. And, on a recent podcast I recorded with another business owner here locally, she talked about how she was in, the biggest rooms, as I'm sure you've been in as well, with, big name people, huge bank accounts. But at the end of the day, they are not fulfilled. They're still sad. They're still trying to figure out what they're doing. They're just bored, whatever it may be. Success does not equal money, right?
Yeah.
Although we need it and we like it because we want to have a good quality life.
Mhm.
I don't think this is a totally different idea. This is going off on a tangent, but I don't necessarily think that just because someone makes a lot of money that all of a sudden they're money hungry and all of a sudden they're stuck up. But at the same time, um, I mean, wanting more for yourself. Why do we get punished for that?
Mhm.
There's a lot of, I will say religious, I won't say which religion, people that I know who imply that if you have a lot of money, then all of a sudden you're just, obsessed and um, it's almost as if it turns you into this bad person or
Oh,
something.
100%. That is definitely like the culture of it. I just came from, actually, last night came from a mastermind, and it is filled with 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. Like, you can't be in the group unless you're making 7 figures. And like the most genuine, amazing humans that are willing to help without that like transactional reciprocity. Like, they want you to win. And I think like if I can instill one thing in my children, it is that who you surround yourself with matters. And like, you want to have someone that champions you, and it's like, okay, you want to make $100,000 a month because you like, that is what you're passionate about, and you want to be able to serve and give and do all these things. Like, hell yeah, good for you. Like, that's amazing. And if that's not in your realm, that's fine. But surrounding yourself with people that make you want to be better, like, I struggle when it comes to wanting to exercise and eating right and drinking all the water because I pretty much live on coffee and collagen powder. And I just came from this conference and like, I have a renewed sense of like, my health matters.
Yeah.
And I'm 41 years old, but if I want to be living my best life, like the 65-year-old, I actually met the founder of Equinox, and
Oh,
she
wow.
now has a brand called Joy Lift. And we had an
Wow.
absolutely fantastic conversation. And she's 65 and gorgeous and living her best life. And we talked a lot about like that, like shame culture in fitness, and like how she has now changed her paradigm and had this joy in the journey of figuring out that like, it you can work your body. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a size 4 like to be, healthy, but that loving your body and taking the time and energy to take care of yourself like is necessary, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
I know, and that always makes me so frustrated when I hear that because I'm like, but I don't have time to fill it. I can barely recharge. And that's if you call that a recharge,
Mhm.
grocery shopping in silence, if you call that a recharge, right? And
Yep.
these little moments and pockets of time that we ish have that we call, well, it was something. It was better than me just completely working or multitasking.
Mhm.
And I get so frustrated when I hear that because I know it's true. That I can't pour
Yeah.
from an empty cup. But then at the
Well,
same time,
that's where AI can come in. You said grocery shopping. One of the top things on my list is, utilizing AI to help with like mental load management and organization. Whether that is planning your calendar, whether it's making an email assistant that's going to like clear your inbox each day and give you back an extra 30 minutes, whether it's making a grocery and meal planning assistant that you can voice memo into it what you got in your fridge and say like give me some recipes and or this is my grocery budget for the week, what do I need to buy, and like send me my Walmart delivery list that I need to purchase. Those are the types of things that like when applied, it's kind of that sharpen the saw
yeah,
concept of like, and obviously I know you do executive assistant work. And so like I've worked with you where you're like, we're going to sit down and we're going to like map out all the shit that you have to do. And we're going to create a system around it. And even if you don't like it, like taking the time to color code your email and write little emojis on it, like seems ridiculous, but when you do it one time, it makes it so much easier. And AI is like that of like take the time and energy. It's like investing in an employee. It's like
yeah,
training an assistant.
yeah.
Yes, like you're going to have to sacrifice something to make it work, but the ROI is exponential and infinite once you get that in place.
Yeah, yeah, and let's just go a little controversial for a second because I have a lot of people that have been asking me about AI. Like, do we use it as executive assistants, right? Because I have a agency, and so like, do you use it? Is it going to take your job, right? And everybody wonders whether it's me, a very obvious way it could step in, or any job really, coding. I mean, you name it. Like, my question to you is A, should we be concerned about, well, actually, we'll do it rapid fire. That way I can cut this and make it into fun videos. But so, question number one is AI coming for my job as a virtual or executive assistant? Yes or no?
It is coming for everyone's job, but not necessarily in the way that you would think. So you are not going to be replaced by AI. You are going to be replaced by someone who uses AI effectively or more effectively than you.
Got it. That makes sense. And then, in terms of AI taking over, like the world is going to end because these robots have their own intelligence. What do you have to say to that?
I think that the world is changing and the world as we know it is changing. And I think that the sooner we can wrap our minds around that and embrace it for good. Anything, any type of technology can be used for good or evil. And that's true for everything. That's true for the internet. That's true for all of those things. But it doesn't mean that you don't use the internet anymore. Or, having the right tools. It's like, did Excel come for accountants' jobs? Having a tool like Excel makes you wildly more effective, but it doesn't replace the accountant. And
Yeah.
so, like, yes, there's going to be deep fakes of people that are inciting riots and trying to get you to do something that you didn't want to do, or like it's very difficult to know what's real out there. It's like, did that person just get bit by a shark, or was that a fake video, or like was there really, did so and so really say this? Like I don't know. And so like there's a lot of discernment that you're going to have to use, because you don't know what's real. And so I think learning to trust your gut and things like that, but then also realize that there's some amazing powerful things that you can do to create leverage in your own life and your own business to amplify your message. Like that's one of the things that I love doing is creating AI avatars or creating scripts or creating things for these brilliant entrepreneurs that have a message to share. We're allowing them to do that at a larger scale and create a larger impact utilizing AI effectively.
Yeah. And really quickly, two things. I really don't want to end, but there are two things I have to get with you before we close, and then we'll have to have you on again because this is super fun. One is, what are boundaries that you recommend with AI? Let's start with that one first.
Boundaries utilized with AI. So One would be that depending on what platform you're using, well, let me add a caveat to that. Everyone asks me what platform to use. It's the one you actually use. So choose a tool and actually use it. Put information into it, train it, do all those things. Use your voice. So put all those things in. Don't put in your social security number. Don't put in like super crazy information. But if you are on a paid account, which most of them are around $20, I promise you it will be the highest ROI you get. But if you're on a team account, it's not being used to train the language model. So again, most people, unless you're like working for NASA and you have some like proprietary patented blend, like we're marketers, like you literally pay money to get your information out there. So unless it's something crazy, I don't think you need to be scared. Put your information, pour into it. It's like I put my therapy sessions into it. I have hundreds of conversations. And that's the other tip is like literally hit record on your voice memos on your phone. In real time, it will transcribe it, throw that into ChatGPT, and then the other thing is have it ask you questions. So if you're trying to accomplish something, whether it's making a house plan for your new house manager that you're hiring to create leverage for your as a new mom to do your laundry, or whether or not you're trying to create a marketing plan for a 30-day content strategy, utilizing your voice and putting that in, and then saying, I want to accomplish this. Now, what questions do you need to know? So, you being the AI, what questions do you need to know from me in order to accomplish this task? Then it's going to ask you questions, hit record, and sit there and answer it. Answering the questions is easy. It's thinking of them. So put that back on the AI. It knows what questions to ask if you give it a goal and you give it a role and you give it a task. Like, this is who you are. You are my strategic house manager, planning, grocery assistant connoisseur that knows how to make healthy gluten-free meals, that like we can create a grocery budget for under $400 a month that's going to make my kids not want to puke. Like, that sounds silly, but literally put that in, and then it's going to be like, okay, do you have any allergies? Like, all right, like, what are your top 4 favorite foods? Like, okay, how many times a week do you cook? Do you want to cook from home? Like, and then you can just answer those questions. And
Yeah.
so those are my biggest tips. Use your voice, record everything, and have it ask you questions, and then voice back your answers.
Yeah. And, something you said I was thinking about earlier, which is being able to utilize AI, right? Not necessarily it itself replacing, but someone who knows how to use it better. That has been like pivotal in my business with current clients that I have, where I have to be able to know how to prompt it, what questions to ask, like you're talking about, the formatting, all of this fun stuff. And because I've been able to quickly learn how to do that, they're very pleased and we're able to get a lot done and it's super efficient. And but yeah, that piece right there, not everybody knows how to use AI. So just being able to understand that, just like anything else, it's a tool. And just like anything else, when you're using a new tool or resource, training is always beneficial, right? And I'm sure that's something that you obviously do. And so, if anyone out there is wondering about how to use AI from home or in their business, definitely reach out. You can reach out to me or to Sarah herself, and I'll have her socials at, links below. But definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're willing to grow in that area and you're wanting to know more, just get into it. You have the people right here to help you, and it'll definitely be worth it. Okay. Last thing I want to ask is top 5 areas that we could use AI in that we don't necessarily think of immediately.
Interesting. Okay, can I do a yes and with that? So going back to your last comment, this is a little nugget for people. So go in and again use your voice and say, this is my job. So if this is for your career, say, this is my job. Help me think of the things that I need to learn to do in AI to stay relevant, to be better. Like, how can I use AI as my assistant to become better at my job? Or same thing at home. Like, this is my role. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what's burning me out. How can I use AI to make my life better? So there's that for you, going back to that. And then other ways that you wouldn't think about it. So like exercises and meal planning. So like I have done like macro counting before, but it's a giant pain in the ass and I absolutely hate it. So I built like a macro counting GPT that I can literally say like I had a half a cup of rice and a quarter thing of chicken and a half an avocado. Like where am I at for my macros today? It might not be perfect, but it's going to be wildly better than not doing it at all. The other thing would be, let's see, for therapy. And relationship management or conflict resolution. So, a lot of times, if you're dealing with a spouse or a child or you're trying to deliver hard news, being able to talk through those things and get out of your head and out of your emotional space and like allow it to be a mirror of like, well, why did they say that? Like, this hurt my feelings. Like, help me unpack where maybe they could be coming from. So, acting as like a devil's advocate and then helping you learn how to effectively articulate why you were hurt or what you were trying to do. Or, again, like, okay, I want to get a job. I want to get a job promotion. Help me articulate to my boss why I deserve this promotion. I feel like I do, but how can I make this a win-win for them so that they want to give me a promotion? And then I know that wasn't five.
No worries. Yeah. Whatever comes to mind, that's very
Yeah,
valuable.
like capsule wardrobe creation, fashion creation tips, meal planning, email summarization. Oh, family trip planning. So we just went to Portugal and like we literally put in like our desires of where we wanted to go and what we love to do, and it told us where to go and literally gave us an entire itinerary.
Wow.
It will plan out like when you need to leave and what you need to pack and like all of those things. Um, and then an exec so not to replace an actual executive assistant, that's not what I mean, but I have an executive assistant GPT that I call it Sarah's brain dump so she doesn't lose her mind or her sleep. So for me, it is a voice assistant. When I'm in the car is when my brain starts going. And so it knows who my executive assistant is. It knows who my integrator is. It knows the people that I have on my team so that when I voice memo in like, oh, I need to remember to pick up that birthday present and like, okay, I need to send the proposal to this client and like, oh, I need to make sure I follow up with this. I can just voice all of that in. And then when I hit go, it gives me a full step-by-step plan of, oh, you need to offload this to so-and-so. This is the step-by-step plan for this. Here's your reminder list. And so it literally maps out all that stuff so that I can just like word vomit into it and it comes out like a beautiful a list that's at least I or someone else can go take care of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then are you ever, I guess the last question, really quick, are you ever concerned about your information being with AI, knowing AI could go rogue? Or
So
am I
going back to
miseducated?
guardrails, like I don't use AI just like randomly in a chat. I build custom GPTs and I give it rules of this is how I want you to act. This is what you're supposed to do. And then I give it a step-by-step process of how I want it to react so that when I'm building it, I'm giving it the rules so it doesn't go rogue as often. And then I also give it knowledge-based documents so that it knows the things that it needs to know and I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. And so I am not afraid of my data being put in there because I do utilize a team account where it's not being trained. The language model's not being trained. Um, and again, it's like when I hire an actual executive assistant, there's a lot of personal information that I'm giving them. It's like you have access to my Gmail account. You have access, like I've had assistants that had access to my bank accounts and my QuickBooks and like all of those things. It's like there's risk when you bring people into your life regardless. Like lots of people get screwed over by a business owner. It doesn't mean that you don't go into business.
Yeah,
And so it's just the nature of the beast.
yeah,
But
no, that is,
the ROI and the improved the leverage that you get out of it, in my opinion, is far worth the risk or the things that you need to avoid, especially if you're doing it smart. Just like be
yeah.
smart about it. Don't be dumb and be like, oh, here's my social and like here's my dog's middle name that's for all the passwords in my computer. Like maybe don't do that.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. This has been extremely helpful. And thank you all for tuning in as well and hanging out with us today on Mompreneurs Making Moves podcast. And if you found a little encouragement, a fresh idea, or just felt seen, I'd I'd love for you to subscribe and share this with your mompreneur friends. And remember that every small step you take in your life and in your business matters, and you're absolutely not alone on this journey. So keep showing up, keep making moves, and don't forget to take care of yourself too. And make sure to follow us at Mompreneurs Making Moves on Facebook and Instagram. And you can see the full interview on our YouTube channel at Mompreneurs Making Moves Official. And again, connect with Sarah, reach out. If you need us, if you need AI help especially, Sarah's already right here in St. George. So just reach out and get the support you need and maximize your ROI, maximize your life. And we'll see you next time on our podcast. Thank you again, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. This was great.